I'll never forget that evening. I'd been gone for a few hours, just errands, nothing special. But when I opened the front door, Cooper was already there, body wiggling, eyes bright. And that tail, it wasn't going side to side. It was spinning, a full circle, like a little helicopter attached to the back of a dog. I laughed. I pulled out my phone and filmed it. I sent it to my friends with the caption, "He missed me." And I thought I understood exactly what he was saying. I didn't. Because what I didn't know then, and what I'm going to show you today, is that tail wasn't saying one thing. It was saying 4 things, all at once, and I had only heard one of them. And if you've been reading your dog's tail the same way I was, and almost every dog owner does, then by the end of this video, you're going to see something completely different the next time that tail starts moving. Part 1. The myth. Let's start with the thing we all believe. Wagging tail equals happy dog. That's the rule, right? Simple. Clean. Easy to remember. We learned it as kids. We teach it to our kids. It's practically written on every dog-themed children's book ever printed. But here's what nobody tells you. Every single time a dog has bitten someone, and the person says, "But he was wagging his tail," that's this myth playing out in real life. That's what happens when we reduce a complex emotional language down to one word. Happy. Because here's the truth that science has confirmed, across multiple studies, over decades of research. A wagging tail is not a happiness signal. It is an activation signal. It means your dog is emotionally engaged. Something is happening for them. Something matters. What that something is, that's told by 4 specific things: the direction of the wag, the height of the tail, the speed of the movement, and the shape it makes. And each one of those is a separate sentence in a language your dog has been speaking to you every single day. Let's go through all 4. Part 2. Direction. The left-right secret. The first layer. And honestly, this one broke my brain a little when I first found it. Back in 2007, an Italian neuroscientist named Giorgio Valortigara ran a study that almost nobody outside the academic world paid attention to. He and his team filmed dogs in a transparent box, positioned so the camera could measure the exact angle of every tail movement, frame by frame. Then they showed those dogs 4 different things: their own owner, an unfamiliar person, a dominant unknown dog, and a cat. And here's what happened. Every time a dog saw its owner, the tail swung more to the right. Every time a dog saw a dominant, unfamiliar dog, the tail swung more to the left. The unfamiliar person triggered a slight right bias. The cat triggered a slight left bias. Right, left, right, left. Over and over. Consistent. Measurable. Real. Now, why does this happen? It comes down to how the brain is wired. In both humans and dogs, the left hemisphere processes positive, approach-oriented emotions, things like love, excitement, desire to connect. The right hemisphere handles negative, withdrawal-oriented states, fear, anxiety, the urge to pull back. And here's the key. The brain's control of the body is crossed. The left brain controls the right side of the body. The right brain controls the left side. So when your dog feels good, left brain activates, tail swings right. When your dog feels threatened or anxious, right brain activates, tail swings left. That's not a metaphor. That is the literal neural pathway. But it gets even deeper. Because 6 years later, in 2013, a researcher named Siniscalchi published a study in Current Biology, one of the most respected scientific journals in the world. And what she found was this. Dogs don't just produce this signal. They read it in each other. She showed dogs videos of other dogs with right-biased wags. They stayed relaxed. Heart rate normal. Body loose. No stress response. Then she showed them left-biased wags from other dogs. Their heart rates went up. They showed visible anxiety signals. Their bodies tensed. They had read the direction of another dog's tail and responded to it as emotional information. Think about what that means. Your dog has been conducting a silent emotional conversation with every other dog it's ever passed on the street. A whole back-and-forth exchange happening entirely in the direction of a wag. And none of us ever knew. So, next time Cooper runs to greet me, I watch the direction. And when I see it swing right, that's not a detail. That's him saying, "You're safe. You're mine. I'm glad you're here." Part 3, height. What the tail's position tells you. The second layer, height. This one is a little more straightforward, but just as important. Think of the tail's position relative to the spine as a confidence dial. The higher the tail, the more confident and dominant your dog feels in that moment. A tail held high above the spine, especially with a stiff, slow wag, is your dog broadcasting. I'm in charge here. I'm comfortable. This is my space. You see this when a dog is exploring new territory, or when it encounters another dog, it plans to assert itself over. High tail, slow, deliberate wag. That's not excitement. That's status. Now move the dial down. Tail at spine level, neutral, easy. That's a relaxed dog. No drama, no agenda. Just existing comfortably. Drop it lower, below the spine, and you're entering uncertainty. The dog is unsure. Something doesn't feel right. Still engaged, still observing, but not comfortable. And then there's the fully tucked tail, pulled all the way in against the belly, sometimes trembling slightly. That is fear. Not shyness, not submission in a playful sense. That is a dog who genuinely feels threatened and has no idea how to protect itself. Here's what makes this important. A dog can have a high-speed wag and a low tail position at the same time. And those two signals mean completely different things. The speed says aroused. The height says anxious. Combined, what you have is a dog in conflict, excited by something, but also frightened by it. That combination is where most bite incidents happen. People see the fast wag, miss the low tail, and assume it's friendly. It isn't. Part 4. Speed. Excitement versus nervous energy. The third layer, speed. And this one is where the March 2026 study, published just weeks ago in Biorexiva, added something really significant to what we knew. Researchers used AI-powered pose tracking cameras to measure tail movement in real time across two conditions. One where dogs expected a food reward, and one where the reward never came. Frustration. What they found was this. Both conditions produced fast tail movements. Speed spiked in positive anticipation, of course. But speed also spiked in frustration. Which means fast wagging does not mean happy wagging. Fast wagging means high arousal. Something is happening that matters to this dog emotionally. But whether it's good or bad depends on the other signals around it. What did differ between the conditions was amplitude, how wide the swing was. In the positive, reward anticipation condition, amplitude increased specifically during the moment of expecting the reward. In the frustration condition, amplitude stayed elevated even before the dog tried again, as if the wide swing itself was carrying the tension of disappointment. So here's the practical read. A wide, fast wag in a relaxed context, body loose, tail mid to high, right leaning. That's genuine joy. The same wide, fast wag with a tense body, low tail, left lean. That's a dog working through stress it can't quite contain. The speed alone tells you almost nothing. The full picture tells you everything. Part 5. Shape. The one wag that never lies. The fourth layer, shape. This one is simple. And it's the one that made me think of that evening when I first opened the door to Cooper. There are two basic shapes a tail makes: side to side, which is the most common, and as we've just covered, can mean many different things depending on the other layers. And circular, the full rotation, spinning wag that behaviorists call the helicopter. Tail. Animal behaviorist Patricia McConnell, who has spent decades studying dog communication, describes the circular wag as the one signal in a dog's entire repertoire that carries no ambiguity. No mixed messages. No need to check the other layers. A circular wag is pure, undiluted joy. It is your dog saying, "This is the best thing. Right here, right now. This is exactly where I want to be." And here's the part that matters most. Dogs do not give that wag to everyone. Most dogs reserve it for one or two specific people, the ones they are most attached to, the ones who feel like home. When Cooper spins that tail at the front door, he isn't just greeting me. He's telling me something that no other signal in his body language can quite capture. He is telling me that I am one of those people for him. I didn't understand that the evening I filmed it. I do now. And it means something completely different to me because of it. Part 6. Reading all 4 layers together. So now let's put all 4 layers together, because in real life, they always happen simultaneously. Picture this. Your dog sees you come home. The tail swings right. It's held mid to high. The movement is fast and wide, and within a second, it breaks into a circular spin. That is a 4-signal confirmation: direction, approach, and love. Height, confidence and ease. Speed and amplitude, genuine high excitement. Shape, pure joy reserved for someone truly special. Every single layer is aligned. Your dog isn't just happy. Your dog is certain. Now, picture a different scenario. A stranger approaches your dog on the street. Tail starts wagging. Fast. Wide. But it's swinging slightly left. It's held low. Body is stiff. That is a completely different message. The fast movement might look like excitement, but the direction says withdrawal emotion. The height says anxiety. The stiffness of the body says this dog is not comfortable. This dog is not greeting. This dog is managing a situation it isn't sure about. And then one more. A dog at the vet, tail low, tucked, small, slow wag. That's not happiness. That's appeasement. That's your dog saying, "Please don't hurt me. I'm not a threat. I'm trying to tell you I'm scared." 3 wags. 3 completely different emotional realities. All 3 would have looked the same to most people last week. Not anymore. The evening I filmed Cooper's helicopter wag and sent it to my friends, I captioned it, "He missed me." I wasn't wrong, but I didn't know how right I was. That circular wag, swinging right, tail mid-high, body loose and spinning. That was Cooper giving me the clearest, most complete sentence his body knows how to form. In his language, with every signal aligned, he was saying something close to, "You came back. I knew you would. Nothing feels right when you're gone. Everything feels right now." 15,000 years of co-evolution between dogs and humans built that moment. A whole language developed between 2 species, and most of us have only ever heard 1 word of it. But you don't have to anymore. So, the next time your dog runs to greet you, stop for just a second. Watch which way that tail swings. Notice how high it sits. Feel the energy of the speed. And look for that circle. Because they have been talking to you this whole time. Now you can finally listen. If your dog gives you the helicopter wag, drop it in the comments. Tell me who they save it for. I genuinely want to know. And if this video changed the way you see your dog, share it with one person who still thinks a wagging tail just means happy. They need to see this. Subscribe. Because next week, we're looking at something your dog does every single night, and what it's actually telling you about how safe they feel with you. See you then.